Coming to you from the 91 Sports Network studio, Western New England's voice for sports. Your host, Marquez Lopez.
All right, today is Monday, and if you've got 20 minutes, then you already know I've got you covered. I'm Marquez, and this is your full New England sports reset for the week that was. No fluff, no scrolling, no 4-hour radio shows, just everything you need right here, right now, in the world of New England sports. And let's start things off with the UConn men, because what we saw this weekend was nothing short of spectacular. On Friday night in the Sweet 16, UConn took down Tom Izzo and Michigan State 67-63 in what was a tight and physical game to advance to the Elite Eight. Then on Sunday in the Elite Eight, they faced Duke, arguably the favorite to win it all, and delivered one of the greatest moments we've seen in this tournament, maybe one of the greatest moments in all-time NCAA tournament history. Late in the game, with 9 seconds left, UConn forces a turnover on one of the Boozer sons, and freshman Braylon Mullins hits the go-ahead three with less than a second left on the clock. This is what March Madness is all about. Now, here's what makes that shot insane. I did a little research. Mullins was 11 for his last 58 from behind the arc dating back to February 28th. That's a 9-game stretch where he was essentially ice cold, dead. And to be the one to take and hit that shot against Duke, magic. Magic, and that's March. This is why this tournament is different, y'all. Guys go from struggling, from, nobody, to unforgettable, to hero in a moment's notice. I'm not sure what the future holds for this kid, but he should never have to pay for a single thing in Connecticut for the rest of his life. With that, UConn advances to the Final Four this Saturday when they tip off at 6:09 p.m. versus Illinois. Now on to the women's side. It really hasn't been close all tournament long. In the round of 32 on Saturdays, UConn beat Syracuse 98-45. That's a 53-point win. In the Sweet 16 on Friday, they beat North Carolina 63-42. It's nearly a 20-point win. Then in the Elite Eight on Sunday, they beat Notre Dame 70-52, 18-point win. This margin of victory for the UConn Lady Huskies is unbelievable. This isn't just winning, folks. This is complete control. Every game, every round. UConn now heads to the Final Four on Friday, April 4th, in what is Gino Auriemma's 25th Final Four as the head coach of the UConn Lady Huskies. They will play the winner of Michigan and Texas, which is being played tonight. Personal take for me, I want UConn and UCLA in a national championship so bad, so bad. And folks, I think that's what we're going to get. Now quickly on to college hockey. New England's run is officially over in the NCAA tournament. Merrimack, who won their first ever Hockey East Championship, lost to number 2 ranked North Dakota on Thursday in the opening round of the tournament. Quinnipiac beat Providence to reach the regional final, but also fell to 2 ranked North Dakota, falling 1 win short of the Frozen Four. And just like that, that's the end of New England in this year's NCAA hockey tournament. Now let's talk Celtics. And listen, this team is heating up at the right time. On Wednesday, in a statement win, they beat Oklahoma City at home by 10. Then on Friday, they beat an Atlanta Hawks team who came in having won 13 of their last 14 games. Then on Sunday, they bested Charlotte away, 114-99, opening a 4-game road trip. Jason Tatum on Sunday had a season-high 32 points and was his most efficient since his return. But it's Peyton Pritchard who has been the star as of late. He had 36 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists versus Atlanta. He followed that up with 28 points, 6 boards, and 6 assists Sunday at Charlotte. He's balling. The Celtics have now won 6 of their last 7, and these last 2 wins have come without star Jaylen Brown, who is nursing Achilles tendonitis. I don't like the sound of that. But Brown is expected to return Monday night, tonight, versus the Hawks in his hometown, Atlanta. Now on to the Bruins. The Bruins quietly had a really strong week. Tuesday, although they lost 4-2 at home in Toronto, they responded with 3 straight wins. A win at Buffalo on Wednesday, a win at home versus Minnesota on Saturday, and another win at home versus Columbus on Sunday. That's a 3-game win streak, y'all. And the Bruins now hold a 6-point cushion over teams outside of the playoff picture and a 4-point lead over Columbus, who sits in the 8th spot currently behind them. The Bruins have really created real breathing room in the wildcard standings for themselves, and this is something we've been talking about for weeks that they need. This matters right now. It matters most because coming up, 5 of their next 7 games are on the road, and on the road is where this Bruins team has struggled. Now on to the Red Sox. The Red Sox began their season with a win on opening day in Cincinnati, but lost the next 2 games and the series by 1 run each. Now on the Red Sox, a little deep dive here. Opening day looked exactly how you draw it up as a Red Sox fan. Garrett Crochet was dominant, had a shutout performance, and looked every bit the part of the ace that he was for us all season last year. Roman Anthony looks every bit as advertised. What you saw in the WBC is what we're seeing here in the regular season. He had 3 hits in his debut. Marcelo Meyer comes off the bench and hits a clutch double. Cedar Rafaela drives him in for the first run of the game on a single up the middle, in which he hit a ball that was basically at his neck. I love it. I love the way Rafaela swings. And the bullpen had 3 scoreless innings and 4 strikeouts with only 1 hit allowed to seal that win for the Red Sox on opening day. But the same can't be said for Friday. Sonny Gray, in his first outing in a Red Sox uniform, was bad. He struggled to get out of the first inning. 35 pitches it took to get out the first inning. And that's on 2 earned runs and a horrible misplayed ball at home plate by him. I don't know what he was doing there. It was a terrible play. But there was one good pitching performance on Saturday, and that was Ryan Watson. Ryan Watson made his MLB debut. Listen, he had the bases loaded at one point, pitching to Eugenio Suarez, and had 2 strikeouts overturned by the ABS system. 2 strikeouts that were called by CB Buckner. And still he settled in, despite the drama, despite the energy, despite the nerves, and got Suarez to hit into an inning-ending ground out to second base that Marcelo made a fantastic play on. And Dave O'Brien on the radio cast said it right. No pitcher has ever had to go through what Ryan Watson went through in his Major League debut. It is his Major League debut. He struck out Eugenio Suarez twice, although he didn't because they were turned over by ABS. No pitcher has ever experienced what Ryan Watson experienced in that moment, and yet he still got out of the inning. Fantastic performance by him. That was awesome to see. Now, Warrior Abreu did hit that game-tying home run in the 9th, crushed the ball to right field, but unfortunately, it was not enough. The Red Sox end up losing in extra innings. Game 3 on Sunday. Connolly Early got the start, pitched 5 1/3 shutout innings, including that big strikeout of Ellie De La Cruz just before he was pulled. Listen, you can't send this guy back to Worcester. Connolly Early's the real deal. Connolly Early's the real deal. I'd put him above Gray. I'd put him above Suarez. Connolly Early is an ace in the making. Sending him down to Worcester is a disservice to this 2026 Red Sox club. They got to figure it out. They have to figure it out. Now, concern of mine, Greg Weiser. He ruined Connolly Early's start. And this isn't the first time he's done it. Meatballs, he is far away from what he was in the World Baseball Classic. And even in the World Baseball Classic, maybe those stats don't tell a real story. He has a 0 ERA. I get it. But in the 3 innings he pitched, he's averaging he's got nearly a 2 whip, 2 base runners per inning. He just happened to get out of it. He ruined the game for Connolly Early last night on Sunday. Ruined it. Ruined a fantastic start. You hate to see that. And like I said, this isn't the first time early this season that he's done it. So far, he's pitched 1 2/3 innings. He's given up 3 runs, 2 bombs, 2 walks, and has a 16.2 ERA. You just can't trust this guy right now. And you can't justify keeping him on the roster over Connolly Early. If somebody's being sent down, it's got to be Greg Weiser. And I don't care what anybody says. Now, on a positive note, Warrior Abreu did hit his 2nd home run of the series. And let me tell you something. If Warrior Abreu can stay healthy, if Warrior Abreu plays more against lefties, this is a 30 home run guy. I'd even go as far as this is a guy who's in the MVP conversation. If Warrior Abreu plays against lefties and stays healthy, put him in the MVP conversation right now. Put it in the books. Some other things to note, some other concerns of mine. Caleb Durbin. He's 0 for 12. He's got 5 strikeouts and an error. Now, I never expected pop. I never expected there to be power from Durbin, power out of the third base position this year. But I did expect some balls to leave the infield. So far, only 2 of them have. Now, I'm not here to press the panic button on him just yet. It's very early in the season. We are 3 games in. But 0 for 12, 5 Ks, an error, and only 2 balls hit out of the infield is not a good look to start. Another concern of mine is Aroldis Chapman. And look it, the fastball's hot. His stats look fine. He hasn't given up a run yet. But in 6 outs recorded thus far, he's only got 1 strikeout. Everything else has been loud contact to left field, not dribblers. Guys are hitting Aroldis Chapman. They're just not hitting it out the park. It's something to watch. And maybe he's just, coming back from the offseason, working his way in. But just something to keep an eye on. Now, one more thing to point out here, and I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. Jaylen Brown in the 2026 season is going to set the record for stolen bases in a Red Sox uniform. I believe that's 70 by Jacoby Ellsbury. I forget the year in which he said it. But Jaylen Brown is going to break the single-season stolen base record for the Boston Red Sox in 2026. Book it. Put my name on it. Anytime he gets on base, he's going to steal. He's going to attempt to steal. I'd be willing to say he would have had his 3rd steal, if not for being picked off on Sunday. That lead was not... that lead is the reason why he was picked off. And I think the fact that Duran is DHing, and he'll play some outfield too, as guys in the outfield get days off. Duran's going to play a lot of baseball this year. I think he's going to play over 150 games. This is a guy who's going to steal a shit ton of bases for the Boston Red Sox. He's going to break the record this season. That's my bold prediction. Now, my series wrap, Garrett Crochet, he's the ace that he was last year. There is no doubt in my mind about that. Roman Anthony is who he thinks he is, and he's a legitimate leadoff hitter. Just wait till that pop takes off. Connolly Early belongs in the major leagues. There's nothing you can say to me that'll change my mind. Marcelo Meyer, I was wrong. He's MLB ready, and he needs to play every game. Hell, bat him against lefties. Meyer may be a legitimate Rookie of the Year candidate. Let the boy play. And Warrior Abreu, my next big, bold prediction, will be an MVP candidate so long as he stays healthy and so long as Alex Cora puts him in the lineup versus lefties. All right, now let's shift over to the Patriots. And this is where things are really starting to get interesting with the draft just 4 weeks away. The Patriots have some needs. There's still some holes. They filled some of them in free agency, but the Patriots still have some needs in this draft. The biggest need is at offensive tackle. Listen, Morgan Moses is getting older, and he's on the 2nd year of a 3-year deal. He was extremely healthy and valuable last season, but was that the best he'll be in a Patriots uniform? He's 35 years old. Listen, I think it might have been. I think what we saw last year from Morgan Moses, although he's had a great career, there's no knock on him, but I think that may be the best that we see of him in a Patriots uniform. The future at right tackle is a serious need for this Patriots team. Although the Patriots did just sign backup tackle James Hudson to a 1-year deal. I believe he has 5 years experience in the league. But the age of Moses and the inconsistency of Will Campbell down the stretch really just reaffirms the offensive tackle position as priority number 1 for the New England Patriots this draft. Second is the wide receiver position. And the Patriots did sign Romeo Doubs, which was an affordable, low-risk, high-reward move for this team. But as I've said previously, Doubs can't be the only addition to this wide receiver room. But I stand pat on the belief that the Patriots will give up a 2027 draft pick and a player to the Eagles for A.J. Brown to eventually round out this group. So therefore, While it's a big need for this roster still, I don't expect them to use high draft capital on receiver this draft. Third is at the edge rushing position. The Patriots need help with their pass rush. Now, the Patriots did just sign Draymond Jones, but opposite of him, Harold Landry struggled mightily to stay healthy and productive last season. On top of that, he can also be cut next year, saving $14.5 million on the cap for the Patriots. That being said, he's all but gone after 26, so they need a replacement. Fourth is tight end. Maybe this is unsexy, but Hunter Henry, he's been pretty good during his tenure with the Patriots, but nothing about him is elite or stands out. Nothing is special. He's kind of boring, and he's also getting older. They need some new blood in there. Personally, I'd love the Patriots to trade for Kyle Pitts, not just because I'm a Gator fan, but because I think there's still untapped potential there. I think he's worth the gamble, and I don't think he comes expensive. But as it stands right now, there's essentially nobody behind Hunter Henry. Nobody behind Hunter Henry. So I'd expect them to add another person or two to that group, whether it's the draft, by trade, or farther along free agency. Fifth is safety. The Patriots lost safety Jalen Hawkins to the Ravens on a 2-year deal, and they countered that by bringing in 10-year veteran Kevin Byard on a 1-year deal. And while this serves a purpose for 26, he's a good safety, he's a good player, and he's experienced. This serves a purpose for 26. But there's no plan for 2027. And depth at safety behind him and Craig Woodson is literally paper thin. Now, each team in the NFL is allowed 30 pre-draft in-person visits. These are called top 30 visits, and they matter, people. These visits are different from meetings at the Shrine Bowl, different from the Senior Bowl, different from meetings at the NFL Combine or going to a pro day. These visits are intentional. And the biggest trend in these pre-draft visits thus far is the amount of pass rushers they've met with since the process began. The Patriots have met with 7 in the top 50 overall draft prospects. 7 pass rushers. This includes 3 that they've hosted for top 30 visits. Those 3 pass rushers are Romello Heights, R. Mason Thomas, and Missouri's Zion Young. That's not random, people. This is obviously a priority for the team, or else they wouldn't be spending these top 30 visits on them. Now, with 3 picks in the top 100, followed by 2 fourths, 1 fifth, 4 sixth, and 1 pick in the 7th round, here are my predictions for the Patriots draft. Personally, when looking at the draft, I think there's 2 people that New England can and will use the 31st pick on. First is Missouri edge rusher Zion Young, and that's despite the off-field concerns. And those concerns, he was charged for DUI and speeding last December, and in 2023 took a plea deal on an aggravated assault charge. Now, none of that is good. None of that is good. But the team not only met with him at the Combine, they also had him in for a top 30 visit. So they must really like him. And he's in the top 50 prospects in the draft. The Patriots must really like him to invest that much time. And honestly, reports are several other teams do too. He has 10 top 30 visits scheduled across the league, including the Jets and Dolphins, which are right in our very own division. The second person they could use their first-round pick on is Arizona State tackle Max Ihanaker, and I hope I said the name right. Max was actually coached by Mike Vrabel at his pro day in Arizona State, and he's currently the 6th-ranked offensive tackle in the draft. That's according to Draft Tech. He also had arguably the best combine of all tackles that participated. These are the 2 players I see the Patriots drafting. I also think they could draft both of these players if they wanted to, only if they're willing to move some draft capital and slide up into the earlier part of the 2nd round. I think one of these 2, if not maybe both of them, will be available in the 2nd round. If the Patriots want both, they can get them. But if not, on day 2, I could see the Patriots targeting running back Mike Washington Jr., who they met with at the Combine and visited during their pro day. Or they could take a shot at UFC safety Kamari Ramsey, whom they also met at the Combine. Or they can choose to bolster their interior defensive front there with nose tackle Caden McDonald, who they've had in for a top 30 visit. Now on day 3, I expect the Patriots to use several of their remaining 8 draft picks on offensive line depth, and maybe some dart throws at receivers like DeZon Stribling, who he ran a 4.36 in the combine, and they've had him in for a top 30 visit. So another potential guy in the late rounds for them. In all, expect the Patriots to address the offensive line, improve their edge rush, and shore up the back end of their secondary. You can book these three things. They could also target some skill positions like running back and tight end. But like I said, I wouldn't hold your breath if I was you, as of now, for the Patriots to spend high draft capital on a rookie receiver when A.J. Brown and that June 1st marker still looms. Well, that's the weekly wrap-up here in the world of New England sports. Now we'll look at things to come. In college basketball, the UConn men take on Illinois in the Final Four Saturday with the 6:09 tip. For women's, the UConn Lady Huskies will play in the Final Four versus the winner of tonight's matchup between 2-seeded Michigan and 1-seeded Texas. For the Celtics, they have 3 straight games on the road, beginning tonight at Atlanta, where Jaylen Brown will return from injury in his hometown. Then they are at Miami Wednesday, Milwaukee Friday, and then finally back home versus Toronto on Sunday. The Bruins are home versus Dallas on Tuesday before 3 straight games on the road versus Florida, Tampa Bay, and Philadelphia. More opportunities to gain some separation there in the wild card standings. The Red Sox continue their road trip Monday in Houston for a 3-game series with the Astros before returning to Boston for a weekend series beginning on Friday with their home opener versus the San Diego Padres, a game that I will most certainly be at and cannot wait to go to. Now that's it. You're caught up. Go talk your talk, go walk your walk, and as always, thank you for taking the time to tune in to the Monday Express on the 91 Sports Network show. 91.